Hello and welcome. This video guide will take you through the process of creating unavailable codes and wrap-up codes, and then show you how to assign these to agents by using profiles. Unavailable codes are labels that agents can choose from as a reason why they want to make themselves unavailable to the system and not have any further calls routed to them. Whenever an agent chooses an unavailable code, both the time they place themselves into unavailable and the duration they were unavailable along with the relevant label they selected are all stored in the historical database and can subsequently be reported upon by supervisors at a later time or date. Wrap-up codes are also labels or descriptions that agents can choose from. But the difference between wrap-up codes and unavailable codes is that wrap-up codes can only be selected after a call has finished and are generally used to classify the outcome of the calls. As with the unavailable codes, wrap-up codes can be reported upon and reports produced based upon the different wrap-up codes used. For the purpose of this guide, we're going to use the agent account that we created in an earlier video guide. The account in question is for an agent called Ruth Swinton and has a username of rswinton. Here you can see that if I log into the Agent Communicator application using this agent's credentials and click on the status box at the top, we can see that we only have the available option showing. This would normally be the area that we would expect to see a list of the different unavailable codes that the agent has been assigned and can be selected from. Also, if I make an outbound call and then end it, you can now see the drop-down box from which the agent can select a wrap-up code to classify the call with. As you can see here, the list is currently empty. So what we'll do now is go through the steps necessary to create some unavailable and wrap-up codes and apply them to the user rswinton. The first thing to do then is click on the Labels option here on the left-hand menu. At the top we can see we have two options, Unavailable and Wrap-ups. In the Unavailable screen we can see that we already have three unavailable descriptions, and if we look in the Wrap-up screen we can see that we have one description. So first, going back to the Unavailable screen, we'll add a new unavailable description. I'm going to assign this new label a numeric code of 4 as it's the next one in the series, and I'm going to provide it with the label and description of training. For reference, it's the label that the agent sees and not the description. And now I'm going to click on the Add button and you can see this new unavailable code in the list below. Now we'll go to the wrap-up screen and repeat the same process, assigning a code of 2 this time and a label of New Insurance Policy Sold along with the description of New Policy Sold. I'll click on Add, and as before you can now see the new wrap-up code within the list. With these two new labels now created, the next stage for us is to go to the Profiles option here in the left-hand menu. Here we create profiles, which is how we actually assign the different unavailable and wrap-up codes to the agents. Here you can see the default profile called Agents, and by clicking on this profile we can edit its properties. By clicking on the Members tab you can see a list of the agents that aren't currently members of this profile and a list of those that are. Adding an agent is just a simple case of highlighting the agent or agents on the left hand side and then clicking on the Add button and then clicking Save. Next, if we click on the Unavailable tab we can see a similar screen, except this time it's showing us which of the unavailable labels created within the system are assigned to this profile and which aren't. The process is as before. Highlight the relevant code or codes on the left and add them to the members area by clicking on the Add button before hitting Save. And similarly the process is repeated once again for the wrap-up codes by clicking on the Wrap-ups tab. Having done this, if we now look back at the Agent Communicator, we can see that the new labels we added along with the existing labels that were assigned to the profile are still not visible yet within the communicator. The reason for this is that we haven't applied our changes yet, and to do this we need to click on the Apply Changes here on the left, check the Domain Configuration option and click on the Apply button. Now if we go back to the Agent Communicator app and drop the status box down, we can see the unavailable codes that were assigned to the profile. And similarly, if I make an outbound call and hang the call up, we can now see that the list of wrap-up codes within the drop-down box has now been updated. In summary, we've seen in this guide how to create new unavailable and wrap-up labels, and how to use profiles to assign these descriptions to the agents. This now concludes this video guide. Thank you for watching.